To review which services are being offered on a network, an administrator will occasionally run a network scanning tool, such as Nmap, to query each host for services being offered. This isn't a difficult task, but it does take a bit of knowledge of the Nmap command and some of its options, as well as a good understanding of which protocols and services to look out for. I should also note that scanning a network with a tool such as Nmap should be done with explicit permission from the network owner. On my Kali Linux system, I can execute the command nmap-h to look at a summary of what options are available. I'll pipe the command through less so I can scroll through the output at a readable pace. Some of the most common options are organized in categories, such as targets to scan, how to discover hosts to review, and such. As you can see, there are several pages of options listed here, and this is not the full list. The command man nmap can be used for a more detailed review. In this demonstration, I'm looking for hosts that are running unsecure protocols such as Telnet or FTP. I'll use some Nmap commands to find all hosts on the network, as well as what services they appear to be running. Let's start with a simple scan of the subnet for hosts. On my Kali Linux system, I'll execute IP-A to see what my network segment looks like. It looks like I'm connected to the network 192.168.222.0/24. I'll use that for my first Nmap scan, Nmap 192.168.222.0/24, and press enter. The output shows several hosts. I can see that the first one has an SSH server, which means it's likely a Linux box of some kind. The next host, found at 192.168.222.100, shows all the ports I would associate with a Windows server, such as 445, 464, 3268, and 3269. Although I see port 80 open for web traffic, I don't see any other inherently unsecure protocols. I'll keep looking for other hosts. I see some other hosts with SSH and a couple with web servers. This last host at 192.168.222.207 shows Telnet is running on port 23. I found at least one host I'll probably need to investigate. I'm going to do a deeper review of that host using a different Nmap command. I'll use nmap-p 1-65535-s V 192.168.222.207. The -p specifies that I want the scan to review the ports from 1 to 65535. A default Nmap scan only looks at the most commonly used ports, so I've added -p to be more thorough. I've also added -s V to have Nmap try to determine the version of software used. Let's see what we get back. While we wait for the scan to finish, you might be wondering why I didn't include the -p and -s V options from the beginning. That's because scanning all ports and having Nmap try to determine versions increases the amount of time a scan will take. If you have a large network and scan all hosts, it can take several hours just to complete that one task. Typically, we try to scan generally, then more specifically and thoroughly as we zero in on a potential problem. That isn't to say that a deep scan of the entire network is bad, but it does put a significant amount of traffic on the network, and it can put a processing burden on the targeted hosts. Okay, our results are back. It shows the 3 ports we saw originally for that host as open. But notice that on port 201, FTP appears to be running. That's not where it usually listens. That could be considered suspicious. By performing a deeper scan on that host, we've found a potential problem, and we can take steps to resolve any threats. There are many more ways that you can run a scan to look for security risks on a network. A secure network requires diligence and practice, as well as knowledge of tools and services that need to be reviewed frequently for potential problems. That's it for this demonstration. I've shown you how to scan for unsecure services and protocols that might be running on your network or on a specific host.